What's going on, college football fans? And you already know all of the Miami Hurricanes fans. And welcome to today's preview video, the Miami Hurricanes versus the Louisville Cardinals. These two teams are facing off this Saturday, November 9th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2 at Hard Rock Stadium. Now hold up, you know the drill. Before we dive into this preview video, I've got a couple of quick announcements. Number one, if you love college football, why are you not subscribed to this channel? Make sure you go ahead and do that. It doesn't cost you a thing. Number two, there's also a join button beside the subscribe button for Android and PC users, Apple users. The link is down in the description. If you want to do that, you click that join button. It directly supports the channel. I'm being 100% transparent. It does cost money. However, it does come with some perks. You get a cool little U beside your name, and you get special emotes and things you can use in live chat. That is always optional, never required, but I appreciate all of the support. Also, I will have links this Saturday for the game, so if you don't have ESPN2, I've got you. All you got to do is show up for the live hangout, Miami versus Louisville. Check my description, scroll down to the very bottom, and I will have links for the game. And also, lastly, if you can't tell, yes, I am still sick. I'm still fighting it. So you're probably wondering, Coop, normally you upload these videos on Sundays or Mondays, and it's probably like Tuesday or Wednesday. I haven't had a voice really until today, and I'm still struggling. So, hey, listen. I appreciate all the likes on this video and all the comments and you guys showing it some love. So Miami versus Louisville. This is a game that is much bigger, I think, than most fan bases probably anticipated in the offseason. So on one hand, you have the Louisville Cardinals, who are probably overperforming considering what was expected of them in the 2019 season. Then in the other hand, you have the Miami Hurricanes, who are probably underperforming compared to what most fans expected this season from them. However, after winning 3 of their last 4 games, are things starting to click for Miami? Are things maybe starting to come together? So let's talk history between these two teams. And man, I gotta tell you, there's really not a whole lot there. Miami and Louisville have only faced off 13 times in total, with Miami leading the series 9-3. And yes, I did say 9-3. That's only 12 games, but I'm not going to count the tie back in 1950. And although Miami leads the series, Louisville has won the last 3 matchups. The last meeting being back in 2014, where the Cardinals won 31-13. So you already know we're going to talk numbers for both of these teams. Let's take a look at stats. So I'm going to have a graphic image that'll pop up here on the screen that'll give you something visual to look at. So coming into this game, Louisville is averaging points per game 33. Miami is averaging 27. Also keep in mind, I don't do 0.8 or 0.2. I round them up or down respectively. Points allowed against them per game, Louisville is averaging 32. Miami is averaging 18. Average yards per game, Louisville is averaging 445. Miami is averaging 381. And lastly, yards allowed against them per game, Louisville 437, Miami 290. Now, a big stat that's interesting coming into this game is Louisville's running back Hawkins is averaging 110 yards per game. On top of that, Cunningham will most likely be the starting QB in this game, and he is a big threat with his legs. Now, the reason I bring this up is because Miami is only allowing an average of 98 yards rushing against them per game. That's going to be an interesting matchup to watch. So let's go ahead and transition over to keys to a Louisville victory in this game. As always, keep in mind there are multiple keys to a victory for both of these teams in this game, but I choose 3 that I feel like are pretty important. So number 1 for Louisville coming into this game, we just talked about the Cardinals' run game. If they want to get it going against Miami, their O-line will have to play very well. Louisville's QB Cunningham is not the most consistent passer, so that means the Cardinals are going to have to lean on their run game a bit in this matchup, and they're also going to depend on Cunningham to scramble and pick up a few of those first downs. So given the way Miami's front 7 has been playing, that could be difficult for Louisville in this game. So their O-line will have to step up big time, open up some holes for Hawkins, and give Cunningham an opportunity to scramble and pick up some extra yardage. Number 2, Louisville's defense must limit the amount of big plays by Miami's offense. Although Miami's offense has struggled when it comes to consistency and play calling, big chunk yardage plays really helped the Hurricanes in victories against FSU and Pitt. So Louisville will have to keep those types of plays to a minimum. And lastly, the Cardinals need to score at least 21 points in this game. Why? In all 4 of Miami's losses, their opponent scored at least 21 points. So let's move over to keys to a Miami victory in this game. Number 1, give Jarren Williams more opportunities to throw the deep ball. And within this same key to a victory, I'm also going to include good protection from the O-line and Enos actually calling some deep shots. Recently, Jarren Williams has shown that when given time, he can hit a wide receiver with a deep pass in stride. And I understand that that was all mostly in the FSU game. But if it's working, continue to do it. Number 2, sacks, 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 and more sacks. Gregory Rousseau has 7 sacks in the last 2 games. Keep that man on the field as much as possible. Earlier in this video, we talked about the fact that Cunningham is not the best passer. So if Miami racks up a lot of sacks in this game, that just means that Cunningham, who loves to run, really didn't pass the line of scrimmage that often. And it also means that we probably did a good job of keeping him contained. And lastly, play with the same passion and fire that we had against FSU. Listen, I get it, but Coop, that's an in-state rival. That's FSU. That game just means something different. I understand, but we've not played fired up consistently. And I get that fire and passion alone won't win you a football game. I understand. But it has a huge impact, and it does make a difference. So let's go ahead and talk about score prediction for this game. Now, if this preview video ends up being much shorter than all of my previous videos, I apologize. I always want to bring you guys the best content possible, but I am still dealing with being sick again. So what you guys don't see is in between these takes, I'm drinking water and I'm trying to clear my throat so you guys can actually understand what I'm saying. So we'll be back at it full speed next week. But let's go ahead and talk about the ESPN matchup predictor. You guys know I always like to mention it. It's completely pointless, doesn't mean a thing, and it's usually wrong. But they have Louisville's win percentage chance coming into this game at 27.7% and Miami at 72.3%. So I think Louisville is maybe like a 6 or a 7-point underdog coming into this game. Don't quote me on that. I don't usually keep up with that stuff, but it's something in that range. So what's Coop's score prediction for this game? Louisville and Miami both coming off of wins. Louisville, of course, is coming off of a bye week, so they've had an extra week to prepare for Miami. I have Louisville scoring 20 points in this game. Remember what we said earlier. And I have Miami scoring 31 points. That's right, Miami will get the dub at Hard Rock Stadium against Louisville. Now listen, I know that Louisville has a pretty high-powered offense. I can already see it now. All the Louisville fans typing in the comment section. But Coop, Louisville's offense, and I can see the Miami fans that aren't that optimistic about this game. Coop, Louisville's offense. Hear me out for a second. If Miami's defense, which has been playing pretty well, right, contains Hawkins the way that they contained Akers in the FSU game. If Miami's defense can contain Cunningham the way that they contained Perkins in the Virginia game, I think Louisville's hands are tied. And I think it's all going to add up to just be too much for the Cardinals in this game. I understand that they're having a better season than they expected, but I still realistically don't think they're that good of a football team. And this is Miami's last home game of the season, and I think that the Hurricanes are going to want to show up and show out in front of the home crowd at Hard Rock. Louisville needs just one more win to become bowl eligible, but I got to tell you something. They're not going to get it this Saturday at Hard Rock Stadium. You guys already know the drill. Leave your score predictions down below in the comment section, both Miami fans and Louisville fans. And if you're not a fan of leaving score predictions, Trust me, it's cool. I get it. Maybe leave some trash talk, maybe some constructive criticism, or just chit-chat about the game in general. And again, that goes for both Louisville fans and Miami fans. I welcome both. You guys already know we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out.